And I spoke to the Agriculture Minister Barnaby Joyce from Tamworth a short time ago. He says the allegations will be investigated, but stopping the trade has not worked well in the past.
Well, obviously, it's blunt instrument trauma is disgusting. It's something that happens in a range of parts of the world, but we don't abide by it. We don't condone it, and obviously, it's not part of our SCAS system. Yeah. Right from the start, Joe, your viewers should be aware that the reporting for this event came from the industry itself, not from Animals Australia. The industry self-reported on it. Later on, Animals Australia, I presume, got footage of it. But this goes to show that the process that we have in place of the industry saying this is not tolerated in our export process is working. And these abattoirs, and I think there's about 3 of them, they're family-owned ones in northern Vietnam. We're trying to work out how the cattle ended up in those facilities because they're not SCAS accredited.
Yeah. So how long has the government been aware of claims that sledgehammers were used to kill Australian cattle in Vietnam?
Joe, this was reported by the industry itself on the conduct within the industry in March, and we've been investigating it since March. The question also has to be asked of Animals Australia. I imagine they've known about it since March. Do they release things for humanitarian effect or for media effect? We knew about this because the industry itself has reported on it, and we are making sure that our investigations go through the proper process, and if prosecutions need to take place, they will. We have to ask how these, I think, 3 smaller family-owned abattoirs in northern Vietnam ended up with the cattle. It's a big trade for Australia, though. It's worth about $120 million for us. It's had a massive increase in supply, and the vast majority happens in the appropriate form. But we have been refining our SCAS system. We are the only nation on earth of the 100 that do live export that actually has an export supply chain assurance system. It'd be a shame if we were to throw that out as the only one that's actually trying to deal with issues such as this. We don't condone this. We think it's barbaric, and we are going to, in our process of investigation, which was instigated by the industry itself, not by Animals Australia, by the industry itself, we will be making sure that we find out where this problem lies. If prosecutions need to take place, they will. If people need to be kicked out of the system, they will. That's, I think, gives a little bit of confidence that we have the capacity to police our system in a vastly better way than we did in the past, and obviously vastly better than any other nation on earth which doesn't have an SCAS system. And
so these abattoirs weren't accredited as part of that system?
And the cattle shouldn't have been there, and that's the question. How did they leak into that chain?
Yeah, well, the RSPCA, we've heard this debate before, and the RSPCA is calling for a suspension of the trade to Vietnam. Is there any prospect of that happening?
No, there's not. And we all live in Southeast Asia, Joe, and if we want to keep our relationships on an even keel, then we can't have knee-jerk reactions. We have to deal with the issue, fix the issue, work with the Vietnamese government, work with the system, which is what we are doing. But we don't start telling everybody else in our part of the world that we're no longer going to supply them with protein, or we're going to start breaking relationships, or have in that a sense that we are somehow sort of morally superior to the people around us. That is not the way to do business. It is not the way to have a conducive relationship with our neighbours in Southeast Asia, and we will not be doing that.
Barnaby Joyce speaking there a short time ago from Tamworth.